You, who loves dope proggy? Now I got a vibe. Join us for our in-person service here at Worship Harvest, Nalia.
For the grace of God that brings salvation has appeared to all men.
Your kids will love it too. Come have fun with us. It's a space to build your faith, hang out, and make new friends. We are looking forward to seeing you next Sunday at Worship Harvest Nalia, 9 a.m.
Enjoy your week.
Victory Live album is out now. You can listen to this uplifting music on Spotify, Apple Music, and many streaming platforms.
Good morning. Welcome to Business Garage. We're excited to see you this morning. Thank you for logging in. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for turning on your TV to watch Business Garage. I hope you are ready for today's Business Garage. Share the link with a friend, a neighbor, your boss, whoever it is that you want to be able to learn from this space. Good morning once again. My name is Dennis. Welcome to Business Garage. We are live here at Worship Harvest Nalia, and we're inviting you to come into the room. Get into the room and partake of what the Lord is doing through the Business Garage space. Let's learn how to run our businesses the godly way. So welcome once again. Share that link, share it, send it. You never know whose business will be changed, will be transformed, will be taken to the next level because you shared the link. So share the link, share the link. What did we learn last week? Last week we had Beg For Me being presented up there. I mean, your business is not like a business. That's what I learned. My business is not like a business. My business has the potential to transform lives. It has the potential to transform families. Why? Because I will be employing people. And when I employ the people, I'll pay them a salary. That salary will pay for their rent, put food on the table, take the children to school. So do not take your business for granted. The other thing I learned is, and I hope you also learned this, that business growth takes time. It's not an overnight thing for your business to go from 100,000 to 1 billion shillings. It takes time for you to grow your business. Do not be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. It is one step at a time. For you to make 1,000 steps in a day or in a year or when, it doesn't matter. Just take that one step, and it's being bold enough to take that one step. The other thing I learned is that you need to keep an eye on your business. How well do you know the finances of your business? Do you know what comes in, and do you know how it is distributed or where it's going? So if you want to learn more of these things, get into the room. Share the link with your friend, your workmate, or whoever. And the other thing is, be brave to step out. You never know what you could do out there. I mean, not everybody is born a businessman, but you learn on the job. And then learn to follow people. Learn to follow people who have gone ahead of you. Keep learning. Even as a business person, keep learning. These are some of the things we are learning in this space. So get into the room tune in, go to the nearest worship harvest location near you and get into the room and learn how to do business. And today we have moving ads. So, yeah. Are we all?
Welcome to Business Garage this morning. The Lord is good and His mercies endure forever. Come on, let's lift up the name of Jesus this morning. Hey, come on. We're alive in Jesus. Hey, I was lost with a broken heart. You picked me up, now I'm set apart. From the ash I am born again. Forever free in the Savior's hands. You are more than my words can say. I follow you now for all my days. Fix my eyes, follow in your ways. Forever free in an amazing grace. Say, 'cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, we lift you higher. Your love never ending. Oh, you are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. In the midst of the darkest night, let your light be the shining light. Breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your sign down to set me free. Everything of this world of pain, I'm pressing on till I see your face. I will live that your will be done. I won't stop till your kingdom come. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, we lift you higher. Your love never ending. Oh, got the freedom. I've got the freedom. Oh, I shout it out. Come on. Oh, I've got the freedom to reign. I've got the freedom to reign. You've got the freedom. Oh, I shout it out. Oh, I've got the freedom to reign, 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 to reign. From the righteousness of God, 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 from the righteousness, shout it out, come on, the righteousness of God, from the righteousness, come on, let's celebrate now. I've got the freedom. Come on, let's celebrate. Hey, I've got the freedom. Hey, come on, let's celebrate. Hey, I've got the freedom. Come on, let's celebrate now. I've got the freedom. Let's go. Are you ready to dance? Celebrate with a dance. Celebrate with a dance. Celebrate with a dance. Celebrate. Hey. Celebrate. Hey. Celebrate. Let me see your freestyle. Come on, dance. Praise the Lord. Amen. Praise the Lord with me. With a clapping of hands, welcome to Business Garage this morning. This is the right place for you to be. Worship Harvest, people online, the people in the room, we are excited to receive you for Business Garage this morning. Business Garage is a space where we explore kingdom principles according to God's word together. So just turn to your neighbor and tell them, welcome to Business Garage this morning. If you're joining us online, we're excited to have you. Say hello to your neighbor if you have a neighbor at home, and then feel free to take your seats. We will continue with Business Garage this morning. As we always do, if there are any people that are visiting us for the very first time, we want to let you know that you are very welcome. We're excited to have you. We're going to have a wonderful time learning and growing together. If you know someone that owns a business, that's planning to start a business, that is a CEO, a business manager, send them the link right now and invite them to join us. So together we are going to share and remind ourselves of who we are. Together, we are a movement of the gospel, discipleship, and mission. And we are catalyzing spiritual, social, and economic renewal in our immediate communities, and as a result, the world. So every time we come here, you can imagine we are actually catalyzing, not just for you as an individual, for businesses in our communities. And so this is the best place to be on a Sunday morning. And at Worship Harvest, we believe that church begins on Monday and Sunday is garage time. Beep, beep. Yes, so as we go ahead during our time together, we're going to have an opportunity to give. You can give. If you're in the room, the guest experience team will be attending to you. And if you're online, you can give through our online platforms. Mobile money numbers are 0778 618 418 for MTN. And 0758 618 418, 0758 618 418 for Airtel. You can also pay through Momo Pay 148 722 or Airtel Pay 116 0032.
If you'd like to give through our website, the website is worshipharvest.org/give. And as we continue to give, I'm going to invite our worship team to minister to us.
Order of the sun in the sky. You command the waters and the wind. There's no one thing you're not greater than the mountain that's in front of me. You are greater, so much greater, greater than the power of the enemy. You are greater, so much greater. Faithful over all of my days, God above the storms that I face. My hope is in your name and nothing less. There's no one thing you're not greater than. Greater than the mountain that's in front of me. You are greater, so much greater, Lord. Greater than the power of the enemy, God. You are greater, so much greater, greater than the mountain that's in front of me, God. You are greater. I'm looking to you, God. So much greater than the power of the enemy, Lord. You are greater, oh Lord, so much greater. Your God is greater, our God is greater. No guilt, no shame, no sin, no stain is greater than the great I am. No fear, no grave, no other name is greater than the great I am. Declare, no guilt, no shame, no sin, no stain, is greater than the great I am. No fear, no grave, no other name is greater than the great I am. Where
Previously on Business Garage.
It's Romans 8, verse 28. All things work together for good for those that love the Lord. So slowly you keep finding your path, and finally you kind of arrive. Yeah. And I like to speak to every business person out there, or whatever you do, just put God at the center. When you get up in the morning, let him know, I have this problem, please help me sort it out. And eventually you'll see that life is becoming easier, and whatever seemed like a mountain becomes like a tiny little stone, and you can jump over it and move on.
Did you always want to become a business person?
To answer your question, I didn't think I was cut out. At the beginning, I never thought that I was going to be a business person. And in fact, I spent almost 10 years doing 8 to 5 jobs and struggling so much to remain in that space, even when my business was earning me more than what the jobs were giving me. I kept insisting, I've done a master's, I must put it to use.
So this is now 2011, right? When you finally said, let me give 100% to the thing I have been treating as the side hustle and make it the main hustle.
Yes.
Right? And so talk to us about some of the things that started to happen for you from 2011. If you can share about South Africa and how it impacted your mind concerning the business.
So I was a volunteer, not even a single coin. But I would stand and watch and work. You'd watch one person icing 200 cakes, and then another guy is baking 4,000 pies. And then you're asking them, are you going to sell this in this small outlet? Okay, it wasn't really small. In this outlet, it opened up my mind. To understand that it also doesn't hurt to learn from other places. And as business people, you need to have resilience. If you don't have it, you need to find it somewhere. Make sure you don't lose out on this social media. Social media is a very good place to market. Keep posting what you're doing, but what you're doing, like I said, be honest. Don't post someone else's work and call it yours.
Yeah, please don't.
So just keep at it. Don't give up. Find ways of attracting more people to buy from you so that you can enjoy these lower prices.
Business Garage, exploring kingdom business principles from God's Word.
Good morning, everybody. You are very, very welcome here in the room and online from the various locations, hosting centers, and wherever you are. You're very, very welcome this morning to Business Garage. My name is Mona Muguma Sebuleba, and I'm your host this morning. And thank you. And with me this morning is Mr. Ronald Tuhirwe from Moving Ads. Everybody, please put your hands together in the room and online.
Thank you, Mona.
You're very welcome, so Ronald. And we're looking forward to learning from you, learning about moving ads, and generally catching up and learning from your business story.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So we kick off here, as you know, it's culture with Worship Harvest, with Business Garage.
Yes.
Generally, send out your greetings. Kutumira.
Thank you, Mona. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure.
I would like to first and foremost send greetings to the father of the house, Apmo, and Pastor Harry, who are the leaders of the movement and who have really inspired so much in so many of us who are part of it. I would also like to thank greetings to my lovely wife, who is in the room, Kezia Elena Ekoro Tuhirwe, my family out there, especially my dad and my many mothers who have raised me and taken care of me. Of course, my late grandmother as well, who was a very early believer in me, from zero, from when there was nothing. My mentors, especially Uncle Paul, Uncle Stivo, and the multitude of mentors that now Worship Harvest has also plugged me into. Mentors like Director Grace, Pastor Chris, Elder Riho, you, the knowledge and wisdom that you keep giving us is massive. I'm sorry, the list is long, so
take your time.
I'm on the
Take your time.
To all those. The co-founder, who I have been partnered with 8 years, and his lovely wife, Fiona, Mark Semakula and Fiona Semakula. The Moving Arts team and family, those who have been with us and those who are still with us, really I send greetings out to you. Bugolobi family, I am part of Worship Harvest Bugolobi. I want to believe that we have the biggest hugs and the biggest smiles. And it is where, I think that's one of the reasons I stayed at Worship Harvest Bugolobi, because I got so much, I got such big hugs and big smiles when I first attended. And also, of course, my Maisha family, MC family that I meet with every Wednesday, JJ Tribe, and everyone else. Thank you.
Wow. Fantastic. So we kick off. Generally, first tell us who Mark is, who Ronald is. What's your story? Where did it all begin?
Well, I will just give a brief history of where I started from in terms of education. I stayed at Biotech Primary School for 7 years.
Biotech?
Yes, Biotech. It's not fancy, it's just a normal primary school in Mihanda, on your way to Mihanda.
Okay.
I then went to St. Mary's Chitende for 6 years, and then UCU, Uganda Christian University, where I did my business administration. In that, I also did, I was in choir for 6 years while I was in Chitende, and in that, I had a lot of other people that I met with, especially my uncles, my dad, my aunties, that molded me and showed me how people are important in life. I thank God for my family that they are people that support each other. People keep, other siblings from other families keep looking into our family, and they look at the support structure that my dad and my aunties have with each other. And they look at it and they are, for lack of a better word, envious. They think to themselves, I wish I had that kind of bonding.
Wow.
Now that kind of taught me that as wherever I go, can I also do that? Can I also create families? Can I create bonds in wherever I want to be it in my work life or even my friends? And that's why I think I also have friends that have lasted from secondary school, because you don't make new friends as you grow older. You always just strengthen the one that you already have.
Wow.
Yeah.
So relationships are a big thing for you, the whole relational capital.
Yes, it is. It's something that I am also focusing on strengthening them more, because it's not that I'm doing it 100%, but relations really do push you forward.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So when did you know, or when did you think you were into business? How did your business story start? How does Ronald come from Chitende, from UCU to Moving Arts?
My business story really starts from the work part. I remember my first few jobs being in S1, where I was doing marketing, door-to-door marketing for a primary school.
Right.
Then S4 VAC,
What
I
were you
remember.
selling?
It was a pre-primary school, and we're just dropping flyers,
Okay.
gate to gate.
Okay.
We moved the whole of Buziga, Bunga, Munyonyo, came back to Muyanga. I also did a website that at around S3 or S4, and that exposed me to a lot of
How
practicality.
a website at S4?
I had a very challenging Uncle Paul, who really always threw me in the fire, right? And I believe that particular experience of building a website really helped me be practical, because you have to go do research. You have to find out the A, the B, the C of how to do something. Now, of course, that was just the beginning. So from the websites as well, just one website really. I then believe I jumped onto, before my second semester, I had a job at New Vision, where I was stacking newspapers from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. So we'd stack papers all morning. You see how when you buy a newspaper, it's complete, but you have to stack those papers together. So you'd have each person maybe handling 10,000 plus papers, and would work from 4 p.m. till 4 a.m. in the morning. And I recall on the last day of work, I just switched off, because I just really wanted to challenge myself. And I really thank Aunt Phoebe for opening that door for me, for being the person of peace that showed me that part of work. And I think those particular experiences showed me, one, I would like to be my own boss. And it also showed me that, two, you don't just jump into business because you feel like it. You have to have the element of work in you, because you have to appreciate that things take effort, things take persistence, things take you fulfilling your word.
The 4 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Yeah, because I remember I asked someone for a job, and they told me, okay, here you go. Here's a casual labor job. Was I going to say no to it?
Right.
No, I've been asking, I've been looking for one. So I got the job and I did it. And because I had promised myself that I'm going to do it from the first day of my holiday to the last, I pushed through. And that just made me appreciate work. Yeah? If you don't appreciate work, there's no reason why you should start a business. Because even then, some people might ask you, when did you know you're meant for business? Were you born into? I think anyone can do business if you have the right teaching, the right experience, and the right foundations. Yeah?
The right mentors.
Yeah, even the right mentors. Now, not everyone is meant for business as well. You might find yourself early on that I'm for the corporate, for the 9 to 5, whichever it might be. But you find peace in that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that all you did that convinced you?
That convinced me about business.
About business.
After that, there was a particular season in my life in university, second semester, where I was really down. Yeah, and back then I knew I still had, I could have time to go do work. But now I had books and I had to stay in Mukono. So I had to figure out, how do I do something around where I am, keep studying, but also still earn. And that's how I remember asking my dad for pocket money. He sent me some money and I collected some from other sources, which then helped me start my first Rolex business. That one night of hunger and no power, really, I asked God, I remember praying to God that let this not be the future that is coming for me. And the next day I woke up with such a hunger, such a drive, that a Rolex business
I wanted
started.
to get into the Rolex business. You got into it yourself?
Yes,
You were making the Rolexes?
No, I had to get someone else to do that because, of course, of the books. And in my head, I thought it was going to be simple. Get someone from, of course, the Rolex Masters, Busoga,
Wow.
and then bring them in, whereby I could pay for his rent, give him a little money every other
university,
day. At university?
You planned to pay somebody's rent?
Yes.
You had an employee, basically?
Yes.
Okay, you had a
second
franchise.
Yeah, because I looked at university, UCU, and the only opportunity that seemed very easy to do was the Rolex. Actually, even before the Rolex stand, while in the hostels, while at Hall, I remember starting with a printing business with my friend Jonathan Wabire, but it never really took off because I was not serious with the particular front, and we didn't manage it well.
What do you mean printing business?
We had a small printer. I remember convincing him to get a small printer, where we just put it in our dormitory, and then have guys come print out their coursework. Yeah.
Okay. So why didn't that work? That's an easy cash cow. Makes sense. It's easy to run.
We didn't think it through. We didn't think through the whole process of management.
Okay.
If you're in class and you're at home, if you're in class and at home, who is going to run that? Sorry, if you're in class and the printer is in the dorm room, who is going to run it?
Okay.
Yeah. Who is going to do that business? Because now at the end of the day, customers would come and there's no one to service them.
I'm sure your parents are grateful that you took the decision to go to class and not stay to run a printing business.
Yeah.
Right. So you've done quite a number of things.
Yeah, from
You're
the printing.
hosting a website, stacking papers, managing a printing business, a Rolex stand.
Yeah, and also then I remember my Aunt Kathy also believed in me to set up a cafe. Because I also thought, I looked around Mukono, and I looked at Mukono, I was like, okay, Mukono has no tea, no cakes, no coffee.
Seriously?
Yes. And let me build that here. Let me bring that here. It was called Café Gatwa, and I remember that's the season that exposed me to Chikubo.
Okay.
My Luganda greatly increased then. My bargaining skills, everything really. My capacity to do more increased, and I really thank Aunt Kathy for pushing me into that particular space.
So you run a restaurant business?
Yes, please. So it was
you
during
built
campus.
it from scratch?
Yes, please.
Wow.
So it was both the Rolex, the pool table, and also the cafe that I used to do while at campus.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So now those are your early years.
Yes.
And you figure you have a knack for business, you're enjoying this.
Yes.
What next after university? How did university go?
Things didn't go so well, of course. With the businesses, because at the end of my graduation, only one business was alive. That was the pool table business. It was really on half a leg. The others were dead and buried. I also recall, I thank God that my studies did not suffer. I excelled at my classes because even then I made sure that I kept on with my group of discussion friends at school, where we used to discuss every other evening, every other end of day, so that we could be able to excel at our studies.
Relationships have really played a big part.
Yeah, they keep you on a straight path. And even then, after graduation, yes, I graduated well, but I was in a dark space because all the 3 businesses had collapsed. Poor management, fallout with a few partners, and a few other reasons. And I recall also losing my grandmother during that period, that I just sat back and I was in a dark spot or space for quite a bit. I thank God again for relations, like friends. I remember a group of friends of mine led by Balaam came to Mukono looking for me, saying, "My guy, what's wrong? Are you well? Can you wake up out of this daze that you're in and come back to Kampala and work and plug in?" Because I think the burnout had come in, from that first night at uni in second semester, when I told myself I do not want to be broke, of course. I had now hit a limit of I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired, and I needed to take a break. But I'm glad that you decide to take a break. You might take a break for too long. You forget to plug back into life.
Indeed.
And with people around you, they come in, they shake you up, and they check on you. And I think that's really important in life.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you take a break. You're done with university.
Yes, please.
Do you go on a job hunt? What was the next steps for you?
Again, I was very sure I didn't want to work for someone else under the whole element of 9 to 5 because of the whole exposure, right? All these businesses I was running, and even the previous exposure of working under someone. I was then in that limbo because even my parents were asking me, "Are you actually going to be putting in your CV?" I remember then meeting my co-founder now, Mark Samakula, through a mutual friend. After a couple of years, we were friends at St. Stephen's Church Isugu, and also apparently went to the same school, Chitende, but never really, were in the same space. But at Chisugu, we worked.
Church has played a central role in your life, huh?
Yes, it has. Okay. Yes, it has. Church has been a central place for me in terms of the relationships I've met.
Yes.
Even my lovely wife, I met at
church.
So, church has played a big pivotal point for me. So yeah, I recall meeting Mark after a couple of years. He had just come back from university, and he had this idea. And in my mind, I'm like, okay.
What idea?
I was advertising spaces in moving vehicles. So more taxis.
Moving ads.
Moving ads. And that's
so basically, you are getting advertisements and placing them on vehicles, hence the moving ads.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And if you look at the logo, it has a wheel, so it's more of a bus on one wheel. But that was the whole gist of how moving ads really began, or how that next phase or season of my life started.
Right.
We pushed and pushed moving ads for a whole year, or even a year and a half, but there was no money. We actually didn't make any sale. We walked into so many rooms, so many offices. Everyone would say, "Oh, brilliant idea, lovely. We'll get back to you." There was no buy-in, right? There are times when you have a beautiful concept, a beautiful idea, but the buy-in is very little. The customers are not actually giving you the money. And at this point, we were all skinny. Our parents were worried. Our families were worried. Our friends were worried. And I think it was in this particular phase that I got introduced by another mutual friend to a UCU competition that was happening then. It was a branding competition that we took part in.
UCU being?
Uganda Christian University.
Fantastic.
I was an alumnus there. So that kind of helped take part in the competition. The friend who helped connect us was called Herbert. That particular competition, I think, was about $200 up for grabs. Wow. And that was the first money or money that we made.
Oh, wow.
Which then led us to bigger things, because the gentleman at UCU called Gonza really pushed us up to another particular job, because all that running around we were doing with my partner, we had not yet opened up a bank account. We hadn't yet really formalized a few things that would make us receive at a particular spot, right? In terms of, let's say, corporate business paying an individual. That never works. Yeah, it never works.
You had been running
Yeah.
a business
Yeah.
for a year,
Yeah.
and you didn't have a
An
bank
account. Yeah, we didn't. We had personal accounts.
Okay.
Yeah. And here comes UCU, who then want to pay us money. Not the money that we want to the competition, but because of the competition, they opened doors to another piece of work that we did for them.
Fantastic.
And that was also our first six-figure job. I recall us borrowing from my aunt at a no interest rate. Aunt Celia, thank you very much. And we were able to do that particular job in terms of getting the snap frames and doing the branding, 100% delivered. And when we were waiting for the money, guys were like, but we can't pay you because you're an individual. Where is your actual account?
Wow.
So we were all running around, but we hadn't thought about the basics. So I recall then I was still doing badly. I even remember moving back home. I told my family I'll be there for only 3 months. 3 months became almost a year. Because you were trying to find your footing back again after all the businesses had gone under. So with that UCU, with that particular job of branding, we then moved into content development. We were driving, I think, to Mukono one day, and in the car, there was a radio, there was an ad that played for a Kickstart competition. A competition for really pitching your idea, and of that idea, if you go up until 1 or 2 positions, you win 100, I think it was either 50 million or 80 million shillings, I can't put my finger on it. From 500 applicants, we qualified to the last 100, from the last 100 to last 50, then to the last 5. We were the 5th in the competition.
This
we
is
never
in
made
year 1 or 2 of your business stage?
Yeah.
Wow,
So
fantastic.
right after that particular job of UCU, we jumped into that. So
Top
really,
5?
Yeah, top
Wow.
5. So that really exposed my partner and I to a lot of presentations in front of people, how to prepare a proposal, and confidence-wise as well. Now, with that Kickstart...
Did you win?
No, we didn't. We didn't win. We were just top 5.
Okay.
The person who won, I was dealing in local shoes.
Okay.
They were making shoes from scratch. And they took it. We were happy for him. But that also opened up opportunities for us at companies like big companies, from telcos to banking sectors, because even then, people saw what we were presenting and asked us questions like, oh, by the way, can you guys do video? In my head, I knew we had no department on video, but I said yes, we can.
You said yes even before you had the department?
Yes.
Why? What made you do that? Why?
I believed, one, even at that point, yes, I couldn't do it, but because of, I get this past series of practical things. I didn't know how to run a cafe, but I started it.
Fantastic.
I didn't know how to do a Rolex thing, but I didn't know a lot of things back then. I also didn't know that then in 2015, but I said yes, because in my head, I believed I could figure out a way.
So what next after you've said yes?
Built the
And then
team.
you don't- Okay.
Built the team of...
So you brought people on board?
Yes, please. Yes, please. For a long time, it was me and my partner, until we realized that we can't do this alone. We can't do all this running around from accounts to whatnot. We have to bring in other people to help us. And that's when other people came in to support Moving Ads, the family that we have right now. I recall vividly during our partnership, because Moving Ads is 8 years old now.
Wow,
and
fantastic.
Mark is particularly in charge of digital, but his background is accounting. Yeah, we had a particular season where the books are just, the numbers are not adding up. Yeah, you're looking to yourself and you're thinking, what are we doing? Yeah, this is not making sense. And I remember vividly arguing with them on how we need to bring in someone on board. Sandra Sekamo, I send you greetings, who came in and really organized our books. Now, he wasn't for it because he had an accounting background. He had this thing of, I can do this thing. But obviously, then we were overwhelmed. There was so much going on. And if you want to go fast and go the whole journey, go with people. But if you just want to go like a distance, go alone. So I remember insisting, and because in our partnership there is trust, humility, and a common goal, he was able to really look past the disagreement. And you say, I know Ronnie has a good intention for whatever motive he's pushing for. Let's move on with it.
Okay.
And that's how people are really coming to help us with accounting, to help us with doing the work itself. Yeah. And even now with the new board of advisors that we have brought in place, it's pushed us further into what we have been doing wrong and what we can do.
You have a
better.
board. You have a board of advisors. Tell us a bit about that.
We just recently started
Okay.
with the board, just this month. September was our first meeting.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank Director Grace, Mr. Paul Bajenda, and Mr. Timothy Mugenyi for being on that board, for advising us in this
you have
particular
Director
month.
Grace. I
because-
know that
yes.
they're holding you to a very high standard. I can vouch for
Don't be a matter.
that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. He's really a voice of reason in a storm of a lot of mess that's happening in life and in business. But we thank God for people like that. Other than that, Moving Ads has grown to be a business that particularly focuses on video development and digital marketing as of now.
Ah, fantastic.
Yes.
Tell me, in your walk, in your business journey, right from S4 right to university and now Moving Ads,
Yes.
what would you say are key principles or things that have helped you, practices, things that stand out for you, that you would say to somebody who's looking to start a business or is running a business, and things that you feel have been game changers, have made a difference, have contributed to the success in your business?
I think early years, for the early part of me, what really pushed was the element of consistency. Yeah? Persistence and consistency. Because
Just show up.
Yeah, just show up. For the 3 years as at UC, as at university, I did my best to just show up at all the levels. Where I failed, I packed my bags and learned my lessons. But just really pushing on till the end. I think for any person, you want to look back at your journey or your past particular project and think to yourself, I did all I could there. Yeah, you don't want to look back and say, but if I made that phone call, but if I sent that email, but if I had walked into that office, take your shot. Yeah, take your shot and keep taking your shot until maybe your magazine is out. You're out of bullets and you're like, you know what, okay.
Magazine and bullets.
This is out. Let me switch. It's kind of like how Moving Ads had to switch from space advertising to content. We couldn't.
You don't do space advertising anymore?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We're now focused primarily on content.
Okay.
So we had to get the wisdom to be flexible and switch. Otherwise, you're beating.
So there's
a
persistence,
dead-
there's flexibility, keep
Yes,
learning.
Yes.
Okay.
And have mentors.
Okay,
Yeah,
and mentors.
Yeah, even though it's just one person, have that person you're going to talk to, who's going to lead you through a particular season. Because whatever you're going through, the other people have been through it.
Okay.
You're not the first person.
Okay.
Yeah, if you think you're the first person, wake up.
I know a little bit about your story, and I believe you have shared with us on the Business Leaders Network a bit about tithing
Yes.
and business tithing.
Yes.
How did that go?
This-
What was it like for you? Did you always do it from the beginning? Has it made a difference?
No, we never used to do tithing from the beginning. I never used to believe in tithing either from the beginning. But I do believe my initiation or starting period of understanding it started with my partner, Mark, who had his from his mother. Yeah, Mama Semakula, I send you greetings. She actually helped us a lot with rent back then.
Wow.
We used to work out of a kitchen at Apricot Guest House. Anyway, on the element of tithing, he used to say that he used to watch his mom tithe all the time, and he watched her grow,
Wow.
blossom.
Okay.
And as an individual, he pushed for that, but I didn't get it. I didn't understand it properly. So he used to tithe as an individual. But then I joined a space called Worship Harvest, and I keep hearing all these things about tithe, about first fruit, and you see the testimonies, right? You're seeing someone actually testify and bring it to life, and I asked myself, why don't I try this thing? Yeah, I remember we had just started paying ourselves a salary of 500,000 shillings. Me and my partner, we hadn't paid ourselves for 2 years.
Being matters,
Being
as
matters.
director would say.
And then I'm hearing this teaching on fast fruits and whatnot. And I was a bit skeptical, but I asked myself, what has worked before, Ronald? If what you've been doing for hasn't worked, this is new. Let's see what happens. Give it a shot. So I remember getting that 500K, my first ever salary, and just putting in for fast fruits. And I don't think things have changed ever since then. Things have just been going from one level to another. Yeah? Even with the element of tithe, because the tithing as a business and also as a person has shown me to just trust in a higher power that is God.
Wow.
Not in my own ability, because they are clients we're working with or businesses who have done that. We wrote down or used to wish or dream of back then, but now it's everyday or casual business. It is not our own doing, right? It is a God doing.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, I don't think you can do business in Uganda the normal way. You have to tap into the eternal business, yeah, kingdom
everywhere.
business,
Yes.
in order to. Because there's a part B you can go into, but I believe you need to focus on the part A that makes sure that what you're building is not for you and your family or just you, but it's for those around you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, in our recent history, and this is something I must get into, but before I do, all our viewers online, if you have any comments or questions that you'd like us to tackle, discuss, please make them known in the chat, and I will be able to pose them to Ronald. We've just come out of COVID, and it hasn't yet faded properly from our memories, because right now we're in tough economic times, so it's still on our lips. What was COVID like for moving ads? How did you're 8 years old, you're still here. Many people didn't make it out of COVID, many businesses collapsed, but you did. So what was your trick? What was your hack? How did you survive COVID?
One, we were very scared. We were very, very scared when COVID was coming, most especially the lockdowns that were happening. No movement, no whatever.
Yes, indeed, the lockdown.
Because we have people who come to office. It was a 9 to 5, where guys have to come in and report. And that really scared us in what to do next. But I remember speaking with my partner and thinking to ourselves, we have running contracts. We can't call them and tell them, oh, we can't send you this work because of A, B, and C. On the other end, the client is
we are locked down, we cannot move.
Yes.
And so for you, that was not an option.
It wasn't an option. For us to send that email, for us to make that phone call, it wasn't.
So the president has announced we're going into a 2-week lockdown.
Yes.
Everybody stay at home.
Yes.
What do you do? That day or the night before, what do you do?
We called the team. I remember just making sure that everyone had a machine. We made sure that people had internet at their homes. We made sure that generally anything you wanted to work at home, we gave it to you. And if you needed support with it, we pushed for it. I recall during that time getting to voiceover artists or getting to different people. I had to send them equipment on a bicycle. They would record that and then send me back the recordings that I would then share with the team to continue animating or continue building videos or.
And work was coming through? The demand was coming through?
Yes, content.
Why?
Content.
How come the world had gone quiet?
The world was quiet, but everyone was still consuming content. Everyone was still on their phones, on their TVs, on their laptops. And even then, the consumption for content tripled. Because you would put up a video today and tomorrow it's out of date. It's old, right? So I believe with COVID, going with the element of persistence, consistency, just continuing, right? Figuring out how do I practically make this work even with these obstacles in front of us. So with COVID, we were able to just shoot up in terms of business because we didn't tell our clients we're off.
So it was a time of opportunity and growth for you?
Yes, please. Because as maybe other people were saying we're not available, we can't do it, we were saying yes. Okay. We kept on saying yes, we can, and we kept on delivering. Right now, I have some clients who might call me and say, moving ads, I know you guys can deal with this monkey that we have, with the timelines that we have, because even back then during the COVID period, it was all about dealing with solutions, with problems, with monkeys that seemed impossible. But if you thought about it hard enough, there was a way.
So anyone with challenges, anyone in a fix should look up moving ads by way of trying to get work done in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Might cost you or cause you some gray hair, but that's something.
Rush hour fee.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Questions and comments are very welcome, and I see Juliana Kayaga Seremba, thank you very much. She is asking, we're going back to the business principle,
Yes.
how do you calculate the business tithe amount and how do you document it in your financial reports? Thank you, Juliana.
Should I say that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so for now, that structure of tithing is really a learning process as well. We recently got some insights from our board of advisors that have elevated our insights to tithing. But what we've been doing primarily has been, of every project, we get the increase and pay off that tithe that is there. In our particular books of accounts, we record that in as contributions. Yeah, because you can't put tithe in as your records, but we put it in as general contributions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Then we have Maureen Mutesa Sira, who would like your contacts. She's looking for a business mentor. We won't give the contacts now, but we will ask Maureen to kindly get in touch with especially the Worship Harvest Business Leaders Network,
Yes.
and then we can take it there. Please keep your questions and comments coming in. They're very welcome. But as we do that, as we wait for more questions and comments,
Yes.
Ronald, what would Ronald of today tell Ronald of 8 years ago? What would you tell young people, even ongoing entrepreneurs? What are your key lessons that you've learned along the way that you'd want to pass on? If you are writing a book about your lessons.
I would give it in a few points.
Yes.
One, implement early. The earlier you do things, the earlier you learn, the earlier you fail, the earlier you pick yourself up to continue. Two, listen to God. As business leaders, as entrepreneurs, if you're founded as a Christian, listen to the word of God. Listen to what God tells you in your dream, in your prayers, through people, and implement quickly. Because I remember having a direct word to set up a board of advisors 4 years ago, but we just dilly-dallied on the point because we wanted to be ready for them. We didn't want to look disorganized, yeah? But then that turned into a whole loop of when will you actually do it? And I'm thinking to myself, if we actually instituted this board that time, how far would we be right now? Because the knowledge they give you, the wisdom they give you is invaluable. So I would say, one, implement quickly, and two, listen to God. And of course, partnerships. Partnerships make the dream work. I remember back then, 2 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, our strategy was compete with your competitors. But then you can't compete with everybody. There are competitors that you can actually partner with. They can actually collaborate with, and then see what to do. Because you have a mentality that you have to work on this yourself. No, it's a big piece of pie. Split it, share it, so that everyone else can also make the work.
Fantastic. We have some very interesting questions coming in from Ariho, Kamara, Ivan Navajo, and Beloved Patience. So let's take these three.
Yes.
What is a major lesson that you learned about yourself as well as your team as a result of COVID? I think that I could tell you very easily that you're a persistent, hard-working team, but...
Yeah. The other day, we went through a class where I figured out that I was a fiery red.
All right.
But
you come off as a cool cucumber. So.
Yeah, I'm a Muchiga, and somehow we are taken off as straightforward people.
Yes.
Focused.
Yes.
We're not focused, but
Yes,
straightforward.
I
Who
testify.
don't mince the words.
Yes.
Yeah, we give it to you as is. And I think I've learned that I need to find ways of toning that in a way. Because
that was working under pressure. So
yes.
it brought those elements in you that you thought you needed to calm down.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
And honestly speaking, it showed me that the team I had then was also a team that was willing. Yeah, that was willing, because I've had a team that has been with me for almost 5 years, 4 years. And that just shows me that they believe in the dream, they believe in the vision.
They're loyal.
Yes, and they want to continue to where we're going. So for me, COVID really showed us how to, one, never say never. Keep on pushing.
Okay.
Yeah. And two, the teams that you have, the people that you have, are really the business that you are building. Because at that point, Mark and I were not going to do all the work.
Yes.
It was going to be the teams that we had.
Okay.
Yes.
Leading into teams, because Ivan Abaho is asking, what qualities do you look out for when you're recruiting? How do you tell that a potential employee will be a good fit for the team? Those loyal people, how do you pick those out? How do you suss that out?
At Moving Ads, we don't use CVs. We don't use qualifications.
So? Okay.
Because, again, a lot of people can lie on those things. It's really passion and character. Yeah? Do you have... One, are you a teachable person? Character is really about you being teachable. If you're not teachable,
so that's in the interview process.
Yeah.
You're teasing out questions.
Yeah, ask a few questions. Do you listen to people? Do you take orders? Or are you the kind of person who, when you're in a particular path, you're stuck in your way through and through? Passion and character always come up. Now, the whole element of competence can be taught. Skills can be taught. But I can't teach you passion. I can't teach you character. I need you to come in knowing that, I am willing to learn. I have come and I don't know what I don't know. I also don't know what I think I know. And I love what I want to learn here.
Okay.
So I always look for passion and character, because the other bits, you can easily train them and give it time. Now, if in the middle, in the way you're seeing someone is not really improving or showing their levels of competence, going to another level, you cut your ties and you give it a rest.
Okay.
Yes, please.
We'll take the last question. Time is moving quickly.
Yes, please.
That tends to do that when you're having a good time. Beloved Patience asks how you've handled disagreements in your business partnership with Mark.
Right. I think I highlighted it a bit, but just to go deeper into it, partners, you're always going to have fights. Yeah, I've had
So it's not a case of
no.
Good, I'm glad to know.
Yeah, you will have those arguments, you'll have the disagreements, and even though you have that mentality of you still have to meet at a point.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's one bank account,
Yes.
it's 2 signatures on the checkbook. You can't avoid that element.
Yes.
So I believe having a common goal with the person you're with, the partner you're with, humility, because when disagreements come, you have to be able to know when you're the one who is wrong. You have to be able to...
Yeah, so you've got to be self-aware.
Admit it and apologize and say, you know what?
Humility sounds like it's part of the deal.
Yeah. You say, you know what, Mark? I was wrong. You were right. Let's continue with this path. And then also, so I've said common goal.
Common goals, trust, humility.
Trust, yes. The element of trust. Knowing that at the end of the day, Mark knows that I have the best interests for Moving Ads. The decisions I'm making are not self-centered. They're not for feed myself or feed my family. And I also have the same mentality about him, because we talk. Yeah, we know that, okay.
So it sounds like values are
please.
similar. You
Yes,
share
please.
values.
Yes,
You've
please.
defined them. Have you defined them as a partnership, and this is what we stand for, refined them over the years? Have you ever communicated them, or did it naturally?
In passing,
was it a
we've
natural fit?
communicated.
Okay.
But I know one of our values that we share as us is building people.
Okay.
We love to build people. We love to teach, right? I remember telling you how back in school, I used to have all these discussion groups of just taking people through how to, if they've stuck with the concept in a class, how do we do that? And even at Moving Ads, we're trying to see how we can go into the element of academy. How are we training? How are we going to the element of teaching people about digital, about video, and etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's all the time we had this morning with Ronald. Thank you very, very much for your time. The comments and questions have been helpful. We didn't have time to go through each one of them, but I promise you that Ronald is going to take a look at them and try and answer them in the best way possible. We're inviting you into the Worship Harvest spaces of the Business Leaders Network here at Business Garage, at the various locations, at the hosting centers, and online. And especially if you're here at Worship Harvest Nalia, this business conversation carries on at the Breen Cafe. But most importantly, you realize that Ronald and Mark's journey is rooted in Christ. It's rooted in the foundations of Christianity, of Jesus Christ, and the principles he teaches us. And I'm inviting you I'm inviting everyone that's online in the various locations, hosting centers, who wants to start a significant relationship with Jesus in their lives, and I'm inviting you into that life. So if you want to give your life to Christ, if you want to start that walk and that relationship with Christ, it's very simple. You say a simple prayer, which I'm going to lead you through. And basically, after that, we believe that you have made the right decision and have accepted the Lord in your life. So, if you could say this prayer with me. Dear Lord, I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for this message that I've received. And with my mouth, I confess, and in my heart I believe that you are my Lord and Savior. Please forgive me of all my sins and bring me into a new beginning with you. Do something significant with my life. And with that, you are accepted and you have received Christ and you are now born again and in the family of Jesus Christ. And on the screen is the number 0775-642-449. Please send an SMS or a WhatsApp message, and there you'll be guided into a family of Christians here at Worship Harvest, where we want to walk with you and help you make sense of this decision. If you're outside of the country, just add the country code +256 775 642 449. If you're on radio, that is 0775 642 449, and you are very welcome. Thank you very much for your time and for your engagement this morning. It's been lovely, and we'll see you next Sunday. You have about 30 minutes to get here for the next garage session, which starts at 9 o'clock at all our various Worship Harvest locations, online and at our hosting centers. We're still continuing with the wealth files. We invite you to please come and join us and fellowship with us. You're very, very welcome. Thank you.